What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show. We're doing a Skype show again.
Yeah.
We're on a rotator.
We're on a rotator. So with me here today in the studio, Luke, he's back. He's still got some coffee drops.
Yeah, I'm going to try and maintain my coughing. I'm not sick anymore, which is good, but man, my lungs just refuse to keep up. I'm going to blame my asthma.
There you go. I like that.
Just for the sake of it.
Blame the asthma.
Freaking asthma.
And then to Luke's, is that left? Over there. On the other side of Luke, we have our lovely visual illustration of Tyler, my leg, Davis.
Yep, I'm here. I'm here in spirit.
We have the pleasure of seeing via video, but sadly, no one else does. So, suck it, everyone else.
That mean I can take my clothes off and nobody will know?
I think so. I think that's what that means.
That's what I did.
Probably be
all
way
show.
more comfortable.
Dude, do you? You are the you can freebird it tonight for all I care.
Bird it or free ball it?
Free whatever you want, my man.
Okay. All right.
But as we get started, Tyler, you can give everyone as much information or as little information about why my leg is in parentheses there while we get talking about our week.
Yeah, I guess I can kick it off here. So the reason for the my leg meme, I suppose, is I was playing in a turkey bowl this weekend. There's a lot of that around Thanksgiving time, and not 100% confirmed yet, but fairly certain that I tore my Achilles. So that's dope.
And by dope he means not dope.
It's not dope.
It sucks.
It's like
Sucks a lot.
The least
And,
dope thing.
But I'm hanging in there. I'm doing all right. I've definitely had better days.
Mm-hmm.
It's not painful, I'd say, unless I do something stupid, which happens at least once or twice a day. But for the most part, I'm doing okay with pain management. And then some other, just to mention a few other things I did catch up on The Peripheral. That show remains to just be awesome. The way episode 7 ends is not what I was expecting, at all.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. All right. So I'm really looking forward to that. It made me, for those who can see me, I did
Just
go
us.
buy
Just Luke
go buy the book. So I'm pretty excited to check it out.
Nice.
In the future. Played some more Pokemon Violet. That game remains to run like crap, but it is a lot of fun to play. It is a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Just sucks that it's held back by such technical issues.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to talk about this a little bit more later, but I did watch the Guardians Holiday Special.
Nice.
It was really good. I really liked it. We can dive into that a little bit later. And then I guess my one thing that I don't think either of you guys did this week, I watched X by Ty West.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got around to it. It's one I've been wanting to watch for a while.
Is that on something?
On my DVD shelf.
Oh, okay.
It was a Black Friday pickup. It was like
Nice.
$6. So I was like, I'm going to buy it because the trailers for this came out. I was like, this looks good, but the subject of it kind of made me leery about watching it.
Sure.
But it was on sale, and A24 has only done one other sequel, and they have spawned a franchise out of this movie. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, if A24 is willing to make a franchise, there's got to be something there, right? And so I picked it up. I watched it. I really liked it. I'd give it a fanboy worthy. I think it's really good. I think it has a lot to say about taking advantage of our youth, which is ironic considering my predicament. So taking advantage of our youth, what it means to get older. Sometimes the lengths people will go to break into cinema in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. Ty West he very much made this movie as a love letter to the old slasher films, which is cool. If you're not a slasher fan, I could see how this would probably not be up your alley. But I thought it was really good. All the performances are really, really well done. Everybody gives it their all. Kid Cudi is even good. I really liked what I got from him. And I will definitely be checking out Pearl. because Mia Goth was awesome. So it's a fanboy worthy for me. Definitely more interested in what Ty West is doing moving forward.
Yeah. Cool.
So if you want to borrow it, Brett, I have it.
Yes, I will
watch it. It's kind of awkward to watch. Like Dana was upstairs because if you don't know what this movie is, if you're listening to this and you're like, what is X? It's about these people who rent out this farm property to shoot an adult film, and basically turns into a slash property. And it's way more deeply rooted than just the adult film. There's really only 2 sex scenes in the movie, and they're no more graphic than any other movie with a sex scene in it. So
yeah,
it's just awkward because it's like really overdone. So it's like it's just kind of weird. And they use moaning as like a motif throughout the movie.
Oh, interesting.
Which is interesting. Yeah, so it's just kind of, I don't know, like if you're watching it and somebody's in the house with you, but they're not watching it, like it's kind of weird. But no, it was good. I liked it a lot. I'll definitely check out Pearl.
Nice. Dude, that's awesome. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Cool. Well, Luke and I both have a million things to talk about. So I don't know if we want to go, maybe we go back and forth this week.
Sure, yeah.
What do you want to talk about first?
I want to talk about the thing that I enjoyed the least, and want to talk about the least amount, which is Battlefield 2042 is available on EA Play now. So it's free, so I was like, what the heck, I'll play it.
Still bad?
I don't think it's bad. I still maintain my review from the beta of Matthew McConaughey. I think there's some really good things about it. I think the maps are awesome. I think the gunplay still feels good. There's just so many like things that don't feel like Battlefield in it. And even some of those things are like, sometimes I don't like and sometimes I do like, which is like the thing we couldn't figure out in the beta, which is adding things to your gun mid-fight.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's really cool because you'll have a rifle with a big zoomy scope on it, and it's like, I got people around me. So you hit 2 buttons really quick, and you got a red dot on it, and then you can just quickly, well, not in my case, quickly die. But like you can play more close quarters instead of using this long range weapon, and that's really cool. But it just doesn't feel like Battlefield. It feels like a different game. You play as, like, before each match, like you have your customization screen for your loadout. You always have to like pick a character, and each character has one special ability, and just don't get that addition.
Yeah. Each of those, I played a little bit of this week as well, and I would agree with Luke that it still kind of hits that like Matthew McConaughey, line. But yeah, the specialists don't feel unique enough for me to really care about choosing one or the other.
I always chose the one that had like the guided rocket because it can just shoot a tank.
Yeah.
And there's tanks everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that frees up a tactical ability slot or a equipment slot, because I was often someone else, but I would want that ability, so I could have that. But with that particular specialist, you would be able to have a missile, and then you couldn't have 2 missiles. But
yeah,
but no, I think it's still pretty. I'm meh. I'll probably dink around with it a little more, but for the most part, it hasn't improved much, unfortunately.
I think
how was it getting in and out of matches? You getting matches quickly?
So this is a thing I actually was going to just talk about. You get into matches really quickly, but that's only if you have crossplay on, and you just get lasered by PC players in this game from across the map with a SMG. And it's just like, oh, okay, you get really tired of it. So I turned off crossplay, and I never found a game.
Yeah. The frustrating part for me was that, hopping into this game a year after release, 90%, maybe not 90. I felt like the majority, probably 60 to 80% of the players were players who had been playing this since day one. They had, way better weapons with better unlocks, and it's one of those games that because you have to unlock everything, to start it feels really frustrating. That like really got to climb out of a hole before you can even start being competitive. And I think
you start off and you have 4 options for guns.
Yeah,
but you have like 10 specialists, which great. But yeah, I want to use a different marksman rifle.
Yeah. Obviously, the live service portion of this game, in terms of keeping it up to date for new players coming in, has not been a priority. Unfortunately, it makes, I think, that user experience, especially for new players, really frustrating and really grating. And, I'm a huge Battlefield fan, so I'll, stick it out for at least a little bit.
And I'll be ready for the next one.
Yeah.
I hope they go back to like what Battlefield 1 was.
But for me, I'm much more looking forward to what's next. 2042 was a miss, and that's fine.
Do we all just want to reinstall Battlefield 1?
No, we don't, because I went back into it, and the only people that are left in that game are absolute gods. And it's terrifying. Everybody else is in 5 or 2042.
But boy, we could die together.
That's true.
Fine with booting up 5 and playing a little bit.
I'll reinstall it. If you guys reinstall it, I'll reinstall it. It wasn't my favorite, but
it's better than 2042.
Better than 2042. So
yeah. I wasn't about to install. I saw you guys playing it, and I was like, I love you guys. I'm not doing this.
That's fair. Okay.
It was also
yeah. Yeah. So that was Luke's first thing. My first thing, and my I don't know if it's my least favorite, but because it was entertaining. I finally watched longtime fan of the show, Nick Lepke's long-time recommendation of Velocipastor. I don't know what to tell you about this movie. It's 68 minutes long, and made on a micro budget with what I can only assume were, probably film school actors and actresses. And look, it's bad, but it's glorious in how bad it is.
Oh, yeah.
It only, the kind of at the beginning, one of the first shots, and it's been memed to death, is the shot where like the main character walks out of a church and sees his parents like waving, and then off screen there's an explosion, and then it cuts back and it's like VFX car on fire, and like the text is there and it's just a blank, it's just where that would go. The rest of the movie isn't quite as on the nose as that. Like that's like the biggest offender of that kind of thing. Everything else kind of feels like they tried. Like that was the biggest effect. That said, like it's about a Catholic priest who can turn into a velociraptor, but when I say velociraptor, this is like looks like a 200-pound costume that some guy is in that's just swinging it around. Like, it's hilarious. It's great.
Doesn't he fight ninjas?
He fights ninjas. There are ninjas. Oh, and the plot twists and the story beats in this are phenomenal in that they just come out of nowhere. It's great because it makes sense, but like there's no setup, there's no payoff. It's a fun little film to watch. Probably be better. I'd probably would have had more fun if I'd watched it with you guys. But that said, we've talked about watching this for like 3 years now, and we haven't. So
somebody had to review it, right?
I just was like, I'll just hit play, and no regrets. So thank you, Lepke, for that recommendation.
Oh, it's my turn again.
Luke, it's your turn again, my friend.
So I also watched multiple things with twists, but I know I'm the only one that watched this, and it had twists on twists on twists. I talked a little bit about it last week. It's called The Devil's Hour. Did I talk about this last week?
Yes, you mentioned it.
Yeah, stars Jessica Raine and Peter Capaldi, and it's about this girl who wakes up every night in the middle of the night at 3:33 a.m., does some visions and weird dreams. She has a very weird son who goes missing for unknown reasons. And that's all I want to say.
Okay.
This show was awesome. And it was not at all what I thought it was going to end up being. It was super clever. I loved the ending. The last episode I thought was so good. It's 6 episodes. It's on Amazon Prime.
What was it? The Devil's
Hour.
The Devil's Hour.
Yep. And like you see that premise and you're like, oh, this is going to be some creepy supernatural thing, and it's not. Mm-hmm. It's a psychological thriller. It's super interesting. It's unique. Has great performances in it. I've not seen very many things like it, and like the things that I can compare to it are things I'd say from just this year, Severance, and something I'll talk about later, 1899, where it's just like takes your mind and it goes, what you think we're going to do is not what you think is going to happen. And I loved it. It's awesome. I think everybody should try and, well, not everybody.
If you're not
if you don't like the psychological mind F stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But out of quality, I think it's a booyah. It's really, really good. I hope people go and check it out. Did I say it's on Amazon Prime already?
Well, you did now.
I can never remember what I said.
Velocipastor is also on Amazon Prime. No, you have to.
Goodness.
No, okay. So just back to Velocipastor for 1 second. I watched it with ads, so it would be in the middle of this like very quote unquote emotional scene, and it would just
with ads.
Ads, and it would then cut.
And it's
very
Prime?
Abruptly to, yeah. To this, get your new 2022 Hyundai Sonata or whatever it is, right? Like,
I didn't know Prime had ads.
I think certain things on there do.
Oh.
Because you can, like, pay for well, I think they must have a
cheap version.
Some content that is, they may have special license deals with. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Do the ads add to the experience?
Of Velocipastor? Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Ads are a positive.
Because they don't warn you that it's coming up. It's not like a ads in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 type of thing like on YouTube. It's just cut to Skittles, chase the rainbow.
That's awesome.
It's fantastic. Oh, Skittles.
Not sponsored.
The next thing I did was I watched I'll start with my least favorite thing. I watched the new Apple TV Plus holiday movie, Spirited. This is with Will Ferrell and he who shall not be named.
Voldemort?
Yeah.
Ralph Fiennes?
How did you know it? I don't think no, he doesn't get a cameo. No, Mr. Free guy himself.
Is there a lot of cameos in this?
No.
Oh,
there's
made it sound like there was.
Oh, no. Sorry, I didn't mean to lead you on. This is essentially just a Christmas carol told from kind of like the behind the scenes. So it's like a big production where every year the ghosts, the team, which is like hundreds of dead people, the ghosts, put this on, and they pick a person, someone they think they can be redeemed, and they study real hard, and then on Christmas they have the big production, right? And so it's all about Will Ferrell thinks that Ryan Reynolds' character is this like irredeemable person, but that means that he has the most he can do the most good, right? Like he's a person of influence, stature, and so there's just kind of there's a big Christmas Day comes, and the whole movie is about him, kind of Ryan Reynolds' character, and Will Ferrell's the ghost of Christmas Present, going back and forth, and Ryan's character kind of getting Will Ferrell's character, I can't remember any of their names, to
left an impression, didn't it?
I know, to like deal with his own stuff. And it was, there was some musical. It's got 3 or 4 musical numbers in it. I think Will Ferrell is actually pretty good in it. I'm just not a fan of Ryan Reynolds, to be honest.
Did he play Deadpool again?
It's about the only role I'll watch him and be like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. But I don't know. For me, this lands at a straight to streaming. I think that the quality and the production is there. It is, it looks good. I don't think this is going to be a Christmas classic. Mm-hmm. So, which they have one elf cameo Easter egg thing, which is, I guess that's just kind of what they do these days. Self-referential, right? So
that's right.
Anyways, yeah, straight to streaming for me.
It's where it belongs.
I guess so. Yeah, I just expected a little better from Apple. But again, quality is there. It's not like they skimped on money. It's just that I wasn't a huge fan of the... Octavia Spencer is also in this. Good. She has a minor role.
But no Rafe.
No actual Voldemort.
It's a dumpster fire, isn't it?
I guess so.
My turn. I just mentioned it, actually. This is the other Mind F show I watched this week. And I think you started it.
I did. Yes.
Tyler, have you started 1899?
No, my weekend kind of got an upheaval. So
yeah.
I not started, but I plan to.
Well, you're in for an absolute ride. I'll just say that. This is a lot like The Devil's Hour in that it melted my brain. Like in episode 2, I even texted you guys, and I was just like, guys, this show just destroyed my expectations. Because the first episode happens, and the second episode is just like, oh man, what the heck is going on? And the very last shot pops up, and you're just like, oh my gosh, there's no freaking way.
Right?
That's what they're doing. I don't want to talk too much about this one either.
That's fair.
Great performances. I cannot name one of the actors in it. I'm sorry to them. They are all great.
I agree. I've seen 4 episodes, and I can attest to the quality of the acting.
It's gonna be a show that you think you know what it is, and the last shot happens, you're just gonna be like, oh my gosh, are they serious with all this? The last 2 episodes, you're just mind blown at what's happening.
How many episodes is it?
8.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Every episode they kind of do a little backstory for some of the main characters. They're super interesting. I loved all the characters. Something I really liked about the show was it's in about, 8 to 10 different languages.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Do not watch a dubbed version of this show. I don't know what happens if you do that, but conversations happen in between characters that are speaking different languages. And I'm pretty sure it would not hit the same if they're both speaking English to each other and then one of them says, in English, I don't know what you're saying in that language.
Yeah.
So please just watch the normal version. It's from the creators of Dark, and I'm pretty sure that was a German show.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a lot of English in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, please just watch it. It's a booyah as well.
I'm so excited.
I think there could be a season 2. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I feel like it could go somewhere, but maybe it won't. And I'm just like, please give me more.
Brett, you watched Dark, right?
I never finished it.
Okay.
I started it, and I really enjoyed the first couple episodes that I watched. But yeah, it came out at a time when we were watching at a time that there was something else we were also watching, and that kind of took priority.
So I watched Dark, and I kind of was like, I can see this having a season 2, but I could also see it ending here. And maybe that's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched Dark when it came out. I think it was shortly after Stranger Things. And I was like, man, I need to find something that scratches that itch. And Dark kind of did in a weird sort of way. But Luke, I mean, if you like what they did with 1899, I don't think Dark will be. I mean, Dark's pretty trippy, but I don't think it's nearly the level of trippy that 1899 seems to be.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely going to be watching Dark now.
Yeah, I would check it out. I thought it was good.
Season
1 was good.
I'll need to revisit.
The next episode is one of my favorite. Episode 5.
Color me curious.
Gosh, it's such a great show. It's up there for one of my favorite shows of the year. Unfortunately, I just don't think anything's going to beat Severance.
Dude, it's a high bar though.
Hey, but if something
comes, a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a great problem. And if something comes out and is better than that, holy crap, you made like one of the best shows ever, maybe? Or at least seasons of TV.
Okay, I'll hit 2 things real quick because I just want to mention I don't have a lot to talk about. The first is an animated show on Netflix called My Father's Dragon. This is by the studio, the Scottish or Irish, I think Irish studio behind Wolfwalkers. It's on Apple TV Plus, and I loved that movie so much, so I had to jump into this day one as soon as it came out. And I think this one was a bit of a letdown for me. Animation style is still really cool. It's very unique. It's a little more put together than Wolfwalkers was, in terms of it looks a little more traditionally animated. It's definitely still stylized very heavily, but Wolfwalkers was on a whole nother level. This is also, I think the story's a little simpler, and I don't think the themes of it hit me quite as hard. That said, I think it's pretty well voice acted. And I could very much see children enjoying this. So, for that, I'll give it a Matthew McConaughey. I think it probably hits its target audience just fine, and that just wasn't me this time. The other thing I want to mention is Inside Job Part 2. So this is a Netflix animated series, kind of adult cartoon.
It was like conspiracy theories.
Yes, yeah. So this is like the conspiracy. What if all the conspiracy theories were true?
I've heard this is fun,
dude. I loved season 1. Season 1 was great, and I think actually season 2 keeps the ball rolling pretty good. It kind of doubles down on the main character and her ascension through the ranks, kind of this cognito. Shadow organization. It's funny. The Cognito is kind of this like government shadow organization. Then there's the Illuminati.
Oh, good.
And then there's another one that's even higher, that like the dark robes that no one knows about.
Antumbra?
They don't give them a name. Sorry.
I bet it's gonna be Antumbra.
Could be
the shadow in between the shadow and the light.
Ooh. That's clever.
I know that because of Destiny.
But I do think part 2 of this kind of continues the excellent storytelling and kind of just hilarious outrageousness that the first season brought. It's really I have a lot of fun with it. It's not super immature or grotesque in the way some of those other Netflix animated series are. I'm thinking of something like Human Resources or what's the one with the kids? Can't remember it. The one all about puberty.
I don't watch any of them.
Those are
Big
those
Mouth.
what?
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth, yes. So it's not as, aimed at that kind of adult humor. It's more just about the outrageous conspiracy, how fun conspiracy theories are, and what if they were all real. So I'll give that one a fanboy worthy. Part 2 is a fanboy worthy.
Very nice.
So, sorry, those 2 things. Luke, you're back up.
All I got left is Guardians of the Galaxy, Andor, Fablemans, and Glass Onion. So.
Why don't you guys? I haven't seen the Guardians special, but you guys can talk about it here real quick.
Deal. I don't think there's a ton to really talk about other than that. This thing is just pure fun and like heartwarming.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a nice watch. Like you don't have to sit down and be like, all right, let me get out my yarn and make sure I'm connecting all these dots. And like I felt like that. It's just so refreshing. It was kind of that way with Werewolf by Night as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can just watch it and be like, cool, that was a really fun little piece of the MCU. And if I don't revisit it anytime soon, it's no big deal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I laughed a lot. I found myself smiling throughout the whole thing. I thought the music was great.
The music was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, the music's awesome.
And they made an original Christmas song too.
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
And it's
good.
great.
Oh, that's fun.
It's really good. It's funny. Like, I don't know, man. I can't say enough good things about it. It's a booyah. I thought this was great.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought it endowed the Christmas spirit very well.
Yes.
It's full of joy. It's about bringing a family together around the holidays. I loved spending time with Drax and Mantis.
Yes.
Characters that, they're kind of there for comedy more so in the movies. And it was really nice to spend time with them, especially Mantis. Palm Clementif was awesome.
Yeah, she was really good.
Yeah. And I loved the scene in between her and oh gosh, can't even remember his name now. Peter Quill.
Oh, Chris Pratt?
Yeah, at the end. It was
Yes.
And it just warms your heart.
Yep. It's really good.
And it ends, you're just like, I kind of want to watch it again because it made me feel so good.
Yeah, no, I think it speaks to James Gunn's ability to capture emotion and comedy very well. He's really good at it. Like, sometimes his comedy falls flat for me, but in this it works. And yeah, that end scene, which I think is the only scene that really has any real implication for the MCU.
Yeah.
It's really well done.
And it's like, honestly, it's a pretty big reveal, kind of almost.
Yeah.
For Mantis's excuse me. For Mantis's character.
Luke's dying over here.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a big revelation. Also, huge shout out to Kevin Bacon for just being all the way in.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Dude, he was freaking good.
Yeah,
he was freaking good.
Awesome. And like just him and Mantis stuff, it was so funny.
Yeah. He had a great little action scene through his house.
Oh, nice.
Little fun chase sequence. It was really fun to watch. But yeah, I think it's a booyah as well.
The worst.
Yeah. I thought Drax was really funny too, though. I loved his bit with, like, when they're with the little green man.
Green man.
Why can't I go back for the little green man?
He's like, want to save Christmas, or do you want to save the little green man? And I just love like the look on his face. He's kind of like,
he has a long pause.
The little green man. Yeah, it's good. I highly recommend it. The booyah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Really think people should check it out. A lot of fun.
I don't want to. Before we move on from it, I do want to mention these special presentations that Marvel's been putting out are awesome. I'm so in for more of this.
Yeah.
Like whatever energy they're trying to capture with these, like I'm here for it. I love it. I think it's cool that they're letting people take chances on things. I want more of it.
Yeah.
Give me more of these and less shows.
I agree. And I'm really curious what else they've kind of got dialed up.
Yeah, me too.
I agree. They're a lot
What's
better.
the Valentine's Day? Probably the next one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, probably right. Could it be?
That could be fun.
Well, and Ant-Man comes out next.
Right after Valentine's Day, right?
I think it's right before.
Or right before.
So maybe a Ant-Man side character? Something with the
daughter?
No, I was thinking with the gang.
Oh.
His friends.
His friend
like Des Melchian and who is it? T-Pain or Nelly or
It's
T.I. T-Nelly? I want to see. I wouldn't mind a little heist short.
Yeah.
With them. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Dude, that'd be great.
That would be fun. Okay, next thing I did, I went to the theater. I went to the theater like 4 times last weekend.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Get on my level. And I went and saw Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. This is a... Luke, you can't see... Hold on, Luke. Let me get the wide... Okay, Luke's gonna throw up over here because...
No offense, Guillermo.
Because he's a hater.
All offense to Pinocchio, the character and anything.
Because a hater's gonna
stop motion claymation.
Yeah. So this is a stop motion claymation adaptation.
Is it clay?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen it then. Like, not a chance. Like, if it was stop motion, I'll give it like 5-10%. Like,
well, I guess I don't know. I assume it's clay. It looked like clay. Did something not look like clay?
I don't know. Some stuff like
I think it's clay.
Like, here's a claymation that I did watch,
Uh-huh.
but because they enhance it with CG, it's good. What's the name of that movie? The one with
the 2 strings.
Kubo, yeah.
Kubo and the 2 strings, yeah.
But because it's like, here's the clay character, and then everything else is like we're enhancing with some CGI stuff.
I mean, I don't know where this lands in compared to that. I think this looked just as good as that. Most of the backgrounds and the Podcat's here to join us. He didn't get locked up today. But most of the backgrounds and all that is CGI, and there's obviously some CGI work going on with it. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's very obviously a stop motion animated claymation thing. JT in the chat also throwing up for some reason. I don't know. There must be something going around.
Maybe he just watched Velocipastor.
But no, I really liked it. I think that Del Toro looked at this story and kind of thought, with keeping the big moments in place, how can we make this a more character-driven story that's not like a simple story about listen to your parents? Like, that's kind of what Pinocchio, at least the Disney version, is. Like, your parents, or you're gonna, and he kind of flips it on its head, its head. The first part is very much about that, but because of the situation Geppetto is in, with Pinocchio kind of being granted life because Geppetto lost a son, and in his grief, the spirits of the forest granted him this kind of wish to have his son back. Like, he also has to learn to let go a little bit and not try and make Pinocchio into Carlo, who was his son, who was taken from him by war. And that's kind of the other backdrop. Instead of like this being the island of the not Lost Boys, but whatever the island was, with all the debauchery and the turning into
the island where they turn you into donkeys.
Like, that doesn't exist. That's all been replaced with a much more Italian fascist war recruitment message. All in all, I really liked it. I don't think it's everyone's cup of tea, and I still don't. I was telling Luke this earlier. I don't know if there's a definitive version of Pinocchio for me. It's a weird. Good over there, bro. It's just a little too weird of a story for me to be like, oh, this is my favorite version. I think this is my favorite, but I still don't know if I would say like this is the definitive version of what Pinocchio is. but I'll give it a fanboy worthy. I think if you're a fan of Del Toro's work, and or Pinocchio, like it's an interesting adaptation. So Luke is out. This is not a recommendation for Luke.
I'm out on like all three.
He's anti all of that.
I'm not anti Guillermo. I never really connect with Guillermo's stuff as much as everybody else. So I come across as a hater. Pinocchio, I wish all copies of that would burn in the Disney vault. Because I hate that movie. And I need to kind of clear some things up with claymation. When I think of claymation, like straight up claymation, I think of Chicken Run, which is the most horrific movie I've ever seen.
So this is way more. I think things feel more solid in this. Like you don't look at Pinocchio and say, "Oh, that's clay."
His mouth isn't going wah 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 wah.
No.
I hate Chicken Run. I hate it, and I hate Wallace and Gromit and all that style.
No, this is much more like Kubo.
Kubo was so smooth. It felt like animation, and so the stop motion aspect didn't bother me as much.
Sure.
Chicken Run. There is, and it's called Life of Pi.
That's the Souls-like Pinocchio game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I called it Life of Peen.
Yeah.
Every time I saw it. Game of the year.
All right, Luke, what do you got next?
Just our little ticker thing.
Our ticker things. All right. Should we talk about Andor?
Should we talk about the best Star Wars?
Just you're ending it there. I love it. I love it. Hot take.
So earlier in the week, I watched the finale and I was mind blown by it. It was amazing, and I tweeted out, "This is the best live action Disney Plus Star Wars." But I want to edit it a little bit.
Okay.
I want to take that plus off.
Ooh.
This is the best live action Disney Star Wars. I think this is better than any of the movies they did. I think it's better than all the live action shows they did. I still think Clone Wars Season 7 is the best thing they've done.
Okay.
But man, this was just the most refreshing Star Wars content I've gotten in so long.
This, for me, I still think something like Visions ranks higher, but that's such a unique thing, and this is long form story versus those like shorts.
I feel bad because I forgot about Visions. It's hard. I forget about the stuff that isn't canon.
Sure,
I'm just keeping canon in my mind,
and that's fair. This, I have such a love of that one movie that we shall not name out of fear of.
It's The Last Jedi.
Yeah. But like this, and then I think what this is leading to with season 2 and how it leads into Rogue One, I think it's just going to be the most interesting live action story arc in Star Wars we're gonna ever gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Blasphemy, perhaps, but like, because some of the Clone Wars stuff and Rebel stuff is great. I love it, but like in terms of live action, this is just its story. It's not even. That's what's weird about it. It's not even like out of the ordinary for like TV shows. It's just that we haven't gotten something this good in Star Wars like ever, long form.
I feel like we haven't gotten characters this good. We've used the word wait before when talking about it. The show feels like if something goes wrong, it's going to have big implications. Hello, podcast. And then also, I think there's just a cohesiveness to it that feels so nice. And I think that's really where it takes the top spot for me. Because, like, Force Awakens to Last Jedi to Rise of Skywalker, it's just kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
And no matter, out of all three of those, and I'll include the last one, even though everybody just hates it. No matter what, like, those three movies do not feel like a trilogy. They feel so
cohesive.
different.
Yeah.
Maybe it could have if Disney would have had the balls to just stick to what Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi, even though people complained about it.
Yeah.
Like, just stick to your guns, do it. At least it would have felt like something, but because they panicked, it doesn't. And Tony Gilroy's just got a lock.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like this little 5-year section of Star Wars, he's going to just be like, we're heading to a war, and it's going to be bad.
Yeah. And, man, I complain a lot about Star Wars revisiting kind of the same time, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm with you.
And this still takes place in that
Yep.
kind of cursed place. But what's so great about it is that they go to new places. They're not worried about giving us cameos of all these characters that we already know.
This is the episode when Yoda shows up.
You know, there wasn't a thing where it's like, oh, Emperor Palpatine's on the hologram. Like, no, like this is a bureaucracy, and not anyone can just go talk to Darth Vader or.
I think they mentioned the Emperor once or twice.
Yeah,
and they're kind of like just like, are you willing to take that to the Emperor? He's gonna freaking kill you.
Yeah,
he's like, oh. They kind of might know he's a bad guy at this point.
There's you feel the presence of those characters without them having to be on screen, which is great. And also, like, Diego Luna, oh my gosh, like, the man can act, and like it makes his role in Rogue One look. Not childish isn't the right word, but like you can just tell he's matured a lot, and what they're doing with more time, allowing his character to grow through these different. And that's the other thing. There's like 3 different story arcs in this show in season 1. Like, there's very clearly like a first third, a second third, and a final third, and they all have these like bits that tie together, while still feeling very, I don't know, thematically unique. Mm-hmm. So I could sit here and sing its praises for another hour if you let me, but Tyler hasn't seen it, so I don't want to spoil anything.
I have not seen it.
Got an awesome space fight.
There's a really good space fight.
Amazing, honestly, I'll say it, amazing action sequences, like, just normal people. No lightsabers, no force powers. Just dudes and
just
people.
Just guys being dudes.
Just, dude, I want to talk about it so bad. I'll talk about
the bridge.
Boom! It's like, ugh!
This show also does a really good job of making the Empire feel oppressive and imposing, not just, little chess pieces to be not, the stormtroopers are often, they're just cannon fodder. Mm-hmm. And like, stormtroopers are they're scary, and in the final act of this season, there is the Empire with guns, and there are a group of people who do not have guns, and the decisions that they make, despite being, outgunned, literally, like that hits so much harder to me. And it shows what like real resistance is compared to something even like what happens in Rogue One with the final encounter. And I get it, in movies you have to condense things, and so you can't play out all these things that you can in long form storytelling. But I'm thrilled to see this, and I'm so excited that season 2 is happening.
It's probably like 2 years away.
Probably. So,
patience, Luke.
Patience, Padawan. Okay, what do you booyah?
Andor's a booyah, yeah.
Andor's a booyah.
It's like my 4th booyah today, man. I watched so much good stuff this week.
I know we got 2 more things to talk about, don't we?
Unfortunately, I won't be happy with these. Still like them, but
They're still good.
Yeah, they're still good.
They're still good.
they're still good.
I voted for the Fablemans. That was me.
Well, we can talk about that next. I like that. Thank you for leading us into that, Tyler. Fablemans. Luke, why don't you set us up with what The Fablemans is?
The Fablemans, directed by Steven Spielberg, about the life of Steven Spielberg through the eyes of the Fablemans. It's a young kid who discovers film, and it's about his relationship with him and his dad, and him and his mom, and his relationships at school.
Dude, it's really way more about his relationships with his family than it ever feels like it is with his relationship with cinema.
Yeah.
There are a couple moments that I think Spielberg wants to communicate. Like, these are the key moments that I realized how I can impact people through film. But interestingly enough, I don't think that the movie does that good of a job in conveying that, like getting me to really feel that emotion.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I blame myself for this. Honestly, I hyped myself way too much for this movie, thinking like I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna cry through the entire thing. Man, it's about Spielberg and his family.
Lots of jokes about
like
that,
what happened in his childhood, and honestly, like there was probably 2 scenes in the movie that I thought were super emotional, but like I was going in expecting like tears, and I never did, which honestly is rare for this guy. I am an emotional wreck through most movies. I feel like I have to say it every week. Like, I can cry pretty easily. I've tried to cry in a Transformers movie. Like, it ain't no thing. But like for this, like I just kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah,
which is weird to. I don't know. It feels weird to say, but like I blame myself for that. Honestly, like I really set myself up expecting something else.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I felt like the marketing pushed pretty heavy on that too. Which again, it's marketing. How much can you trust it ever? But I agree. I think that it kind of falls short of what I expected it to be. In that, I think I expected it to be more of like a birth,
the birth of the greatest director ever.
Well, more like the birth of modern cinema. And it was here's what it means to be in a torn, messy family and not really have an outlet for that.
Yeah.
And I think that that turn comes at the very end, and it's just not quite enough. For me, I think the young man who acted as Sammy, the stand-in for Steven Spielberg's character, was great. I think he did. I think he did a good job. I just don't think the story was written in a way that was ever going to hit me like I expected to with with a bag full of bricks.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
Ratings?
I still give it a fanboy worthy.
I do as well, yeah.
It's not a high fanboy worthy in my rate kind of rankings, but I think it's a really good movie. It's just, I think if you understand, it's way more personal than it is, thematically about what you kind of expect it to be with Spielberg.
Yeah. Gabriel Abel.
Oh, hi, Podcat. Come here.
Was who played Sammy Fableman, who is Steven Spielberg. I was really impressed by him. The whole cast is
great.
Good.
I was gonna say Paul Dano is should not be as good as he is as a father of like an 18-year-old, but like I don't think of him as that old, but he probably is.
Let's look here.
I think of him as a younger
He's
guy.
born in 1984.
Okay, yeah, well.
Actually, holy cow, he's like 38.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good work, my dude. I always like seeing Seth Rogen act dramatically, too.
That was another surprise. I don't know why.
He's generally good.
Mm-hmm. I didn't in my head watch the trailer and be like, oh, that's Seth Rogen. So like as soon as he comes on screen, I'm like, oh. Yeah, pleasantly surprised.
His beard, didn't he?
Yeah.
When Spielberg asks you to shave his beard, you shave
the beard.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
give it a
excited to
fanboy
see
worthy
it.
as well. I still think it's worth watching, just maybe with what we said, maybe you can go in with different expectations and maybe enjoy it probably a little more than us.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about it afterwards. Still think it'll take a lot of spots in the Oscar.
I think it gets a lot of noms, maybe, and probably not that many wins. I think it's...
That was going to be my question. Do you think it has an appearance at the Oscars?
Yeah.
But you answered it beforehand. So.
I feel like Spielberg's always kind of there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
For something.
It's almost like he's got an in.
I can't imagine. All right, our last review of the night. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Tyler, I am so bummed you didn't get to go see this.
Yeah,
You should have came with me on Wednesday. You should have skipped out on work. Came Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
I was getting text messages during this movie, and I was like, what the heck's going on? And after the movie, I was pretty bummed out to see the news. But
the Tyler destroyed his foot, leg, ankle, whatever it is. But yeah, this is the follow-up to the 2019 Knives Out, written and directed by Rian Johnson. Only returning cast member is Daniel Craig.
I should also say, like, this movie doesn't come out for a month on Netflix, so we're not going to do spoilers.
No, yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that.
No spoilers here. We'll just give our kind of general thoughts and impressions.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
So, kind of speaking on expectations after the Fablemans, this pretty much met my expectations exactly where I thought they were going to be, because, like with the first Knives Out, is a movie I really liked, but the world seemed to think was the greatest thing in cinematic history, and I just was like, okay. And I feel like it's going to kind of be that trend again for me, where it's like, that was good. And I watched the world just like eat it all up. And I think that's great. I don't have a problem with it. I love it when people like movies more than me. Mm-hmm. It generally makes me happy. Unless it's like Morbius. Get that out of here. But there's parts of this one that I like a little more, but I'd say most of the parts that I like less.
Okay.
I like I like the ending of this one more.
Okay.
But I don't like the cast as much.
It's a bit of a different kind of ensemble. Mm-hmm. And the relationship between them, the first one, Knives Out, it's family, right?
I loved the family dynamic of the first one.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. I thought they all riffed off each other so well, and I didn't feel like I got that in this one.
Yeah,
like in this one, they're business partners,
right?
And I mean, yeah, you can kind of feel that, but I don't know, like some of them, I felt like they had never met.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, it's interesting because we get very little of their relationship outside of being on the island. We have like one flashback scene of, them kind of hanging out at a bar before they all make it big, right? And so you're right in that I actually think we get a little more into each of them individually. The first probably 20 minutes, which I think you mentioned you really didn't like, is very much a, like, here's this character, here's who they are, here's what they do, and they've been invited to a thing, right? Which is very different from Knives Out. I think some of the cast chemistry worked really well, but I would agree with you. I think there are some that are A, underutilized, and B, there are a couple that honestly kind of steal the spotlight in a not that they're bad, but it kind of ruins that chemistry, the group feel, because it's it's not exact. I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm just throwing a name of a actor on that's in this movie out there as an example. Like, they're in a room. Kate Hudson's here, and she's going to just rule the scene.
Yep.
She's going to take the attention away from, and part of that's intentional in the writing, I think, trying to get you. It's a mystery. Johnson wants you to be looking around, and he wants you to miss things and see things differently when you revisit certain scenes later. But it does kind of have a weird effect on the chemistry of the group.
Kate Hudson was probably my least favorite
character.
That being said, freaking Daniel Craig is so good.
Yes.
As I don't know how to say his name.
Benoit Blanc.
That's it. Thank you, Ty. He's awesome. I thought he was one of the best parts of the first one, along with Ana de Armas, and he's the best part about the second one. He and Ryan Johnson have this character, and honestly, it's amazing. It's such a great character. And I'll keep coming back to more of these movies if Ryan Johnson is doing them, and Daniel Craig is in them.
Yeah.
If they try and because I feel like Netflix would want to do this. If they're like, we want to do a spin-off of this, no, don't do it. It has to be Daniel Craig and Ryan Johnson. Those are the foundation. If it's not that, the building is gonna collapse.
Yeah, agreed. Overall, I think that the kind of the mystery of this, the whodunit it's a nice. It was refreshing that it wasn't exactly the same as Knives Out.
Yep. I completely agree with that. They didn't just do a rehash of the first movie. It's not just a
rehash, and and I don't think it's something, maybe if you've watched all of the whodunit films that were ever made, you may be able to piece together, what he's pulling from to make this story unique. But I do think it's rather clever in its execution and again, a little bit like with Knives Out, with how they construct the story and how the order in which they give you, the viewer, information helps keep you guessing on what is actually going on. Yeah,
the structure of the story honestly really helped me enjoy it a lot more. Because like you said, I didn't enjoy probably the first 10, 15 minutes really till they get to the island. I was not really vibing with it, and it might be partly because most of that is with the core cast, not including Daniel Craig.
Yeah,
and Craig is like the glue. Just holds everything together. That, and I just did not need that many pandemic jokes.
No.
I've just moved on. It kind of cements it in time, which is interesting, and I don't know if I love that. But whatever.
It gives us one really funny cameo at the
it does.
On the dock.
Cameos in this movie are awesome. And I got on IMDb, and I don't know if you saw who the dong was.
No.
So I shouldn't say dong, maybe bong. No, that doesn't help either. The bell.
Of course.
There's cameos everywhere in this movie, and there's some I didn't even see.
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, pandemic jokes. The last thing I think I really want to say, and I think it's kind of obvious now, Ryan Johnson is definitely a boob guy. Confirmed after seeing this movie.
That's your takeaway, eh?
Yep.
Every good writer-director has to be a something guy. Quentin's a foot guy. Johnson's a boob guy. It is what it is.
I felt like I had just an absolute confirmation after some of the seasons movie. I'm just like, okay. Which I think is great.
My last two comments, not about any kind of anatomy. I think the score is excellent. I don't think it elevates itself above the first one, but I think it sits right there. It felt a little more.
I like the harpsichord.
Yeah, it felt.
It's unique.
It felt like it belonged in Knives Out while being obviously different than Knives Out, which I thought was good. And then Daniel Craig's gets a monologue, and I'll just say that it's fantastic. It's different. It's different than the first one. Obviously, we've kind of established that Johnson didn't just retread. But what would be the equivalent of the donut hole monologue?
Donut hole inside of
is here, and it's great in a totally different way.
I think the last thing I should say that I just remembered, and this is like a positive and a negative, and I just think it's super weird that I even reacted like this. I didn't think the movie was funny.
Oh yeah, you did mention that. I thought it was hilarious.
I think there's probably 3 parts in the movie that I was like, man, that was funny. But I wasn't laughing throughout. But, and it's just weird because it's a comedy. I was, like, once they get to the island, I was never bored.
Yeah.
I don't know who else can really do that to make... I shouldn't say it's not funny. It's not like... It didn't make me laugh. Like...
It's not
so hard to explain.
It's not like the jokes didn't completely miss, where it was like, ugh.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But it was also not
What's
like
a pandemic joke. I did roll my eyes at the pandemic joke. Like the first joke of the entire movie is a mask joke, and I'm like, great, thank you for that. I don't even know how to explain it. Like watching a comedy movie, laughing 3 times, and going, that was good. I don't know. I think what makes it work is that Ryan Johnson is
Johnson.
Ryan Johnson is really good at writing. It's a tight script, just like the first one. Everything is important, so you're always paying attention, and it helps the movie flow and has great pacing.
Yep.
So maybe I just wasn't focused on the comedy. Maybe that's what I'm trying to work out in my mind. I don't know. It's such a weird feeling. I don't know how to explain
to a
it.
good whodunit, though, is just making sure you're trying to find all the clues.
Yeah.
And so if you're not focused on the comedy, that generally means you're focusing on everything within the frame, which just speaks to how well he does. I've always felt like whodunits is probably the hardest thing to make a franchise out of. So it's really impressive that he's made 2 of these that are considered good. Because like books can get away with it. You can write, like Agatha Christie wrote a billion of these.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but doing it in film, I feel like is just so much harder. Like there's a reason we don't have another.
Right.
Still the best one.
It's so hard to. I mean, Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile. Like that's an attempt at a franchise, and they get panned every time.
Yep.
No, it is also. Sorry, I'm going on a Clue tangent. No, it is also just the most impressive thing about Clue. The movie has 3 endings, and they all work. What's another movie that can do that? If you got to the end of the movie of Knives Out or Glass Onion, and it was somebody who it ended up not being, I think I would have been extremely confused. And like,
maybe that's the third movie that he makes in this.
He makes 3 endings and puts them
multiple endings.
You could do that if he does it on Netflix.
You could do it on Netflix and make it work.
Maybe he does it for Glass Onion. Maybe there's like little different things throughout the movie that it's like, hey, actually, this might not be who did it at the end. Man, but that would kind of ruin it for me because I think his monologue at the end.
I think you'd have to craft the entire story around that.
Yeah. Ryan Johnson, gosh darn it. Ryan Gronson. I have a challenge for you. Actually, I have a second challenge for you because I challenged you to make a Fast and Furious movie like 2.5 years ago, and you haven't done that yet. Make a Knives Out 3, Glass Onion 2. Make it have multiple endings. Do it. I think you can do it. You're a good enough writer.
Do it. He could do it.
He's probably one of the few writers who could do it.
Agreed. Okay. I give it a fanboy worthy.
I give it a fanboy worthy as well, yeah.
Yeah. Good. Definitely recommend checking it out when you it comes out in December, because unfortunately by the time pretty much anyone who listens to this or watches this, it's going to be out of theaters. I think the 1 week limited run is too bad. I would have liked to have seen it at least 2 weeks, but
I hope Netflix is like, oh, what? We can make money outside of just our streamer?
yeah, we're gonna have some interesting conversations with
Are you
that.
going to watch it again?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know, Netflix, it sounds like a good deal to me that you can put your movies in theaters. And I don't know, maybe release some of your shows on Blu-ray or 4K so we can rewatch them in higher quality, or watch director commentaries for some of their best work. Yes, I still want Midnight Mass on Blu-ray.
I would.
And Stranger Things 3 and 4, because they stopped
Did you
at 2.
see Peacemaker came out on Blu-ray?
I did. I kind of
James Gunn, he's run that place now.
Yeah.
That was his first.
He gets all the say.
Printing that thing right now. And absolutely. Okay. That will lead us into some trailers and some news.
There was a trailer this week?
Oh, I have like 4 trailers, man.
I don't think I watched any of them.
Okay.
Hit us with them.
White Noise, which is the Noah Baumbach, Adam Driver.
I saw that before.
There was a teaser. Oh, did you see the full trailer before last night? Okay. Yeah, so that's a big thumbs up. I'm excited for that. I'm hoping that it comes to theaters in Wichita.
Probably come to the east side, right?
I'm thumbs upping that.
If we got Glass Onion.
I know. I don't think it's going to get as wide of a release, though.
More than 600, less than 600?
Well, I don't know.
Man, sad day.
It's a Noah Baumbach film, not a Ryan Johnson film.
Right. Gosh dang it.
I think
watching characters talk very.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
We did get, I think just today, we got our first trailer for 1923, which is the prequel to Yellowstone, starring Helen Mirren and...
Oh, the prequel to Yellowstone and the sequel to 1886?
Yeah, gruff man Harrison Ford.
I didn't watch this.
It was a sideways thumb. Production value looks good. I'm just not invested into that world at all, so it just kind of looks like another Western where they're going to fight over land.
I need to watch Yellowstone, man.
I didn't realize Yellowstone was like a TVMA thing.
Oh.
And it's,
Look at them.
it's Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah.
Who I love. I really need to watch that show.
And he's worked on, I mean, I think he's executive produced all 3 at least, if not helped write it, some of it.
I'll get to it
was
eventually.
on my YouTube TV the other day. It was on, it was airing or whatever, and it had the TVMA tag, and I was like, what? I thought this was like a network show. What are we doing here? So that was kind of surprising to me.
There was the Elemental trailer that was before
teaser.
Oh, yeah.
Before our... What was it?
I don't know.
What was the one?
Fablemans?
Fablemans, yeah.
I think it's an interesting concept. As a trailer, I'm putting it sideways, though.
Yeah, I would say that the trailer didn't do much for me. It's a bit of a teaser, and...
I think the animation...
Yeah.
Is it Pixar?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Pixar. I feel like they're just getting more and more abstract. which I'm fine with, but at the same time... I don't know how this... right now, this doesn't feel that different from, Inside Out or something.
Did you happen to watch Quarter Crew's most recent video where they react to animation?
Yes.
They talk about
Paperman and the dog.
Yeah, I agree with those guys in the video that they should do a movie in the style of Paperman.
Absolutely.
That short has some awesome animation.
Yeah. Awesome. There's a Netflix show coming out called The Recruit. It's about a nerdy kid who...
Starring me.
Yeah. He's a lawyer, fresh out of school, gets into the CIA and seems to get in to, more than he can handle. So it looks a little bit like...
So it's Jack Ryan.
It's a little bit like Jack. It gives me some Jack Ryan vibes, but without...
Except instead of an accountant, he's a lawyer.
Yeah. I thought the action looked good in this. I'll give it a thumbs up just because I hadn't heard of it and the trailer looked good, but I don't know if I'll actually watch it. But good trailer.
I did.
That's it.
Didn't get the Inside trailer
I remember seeing that poster, but I didn't.
with Willem Dafoe.
The Willem Dafoe one? Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I'll give it a sideways thumb.
Okay.
But teetering up. I'm interested.
Okay.
Because it's essentially Willem Dafoe locked in a room acting across from himself. And
Interesting.
I'm always down for Willem Dafoe. Basically stage acting. So
Yeah, sounds great to me.
it looks weird. Like real weird.
I'm here for it.
What?
So.
What?
What?
Greatest scene in cinematic history.
What other what kind of stories we got this week? We got any news?
I had news.
It wasn't very quiet. Around Thanksgiving is usually pretty quiet. I did see that Bob Iger had a town hall for Disney employees. Oh, that's the wrong camera. Luke's not talking. I'm talking. Disney employees today or this weekend. I don't know if it was today. I think it was today.
He was like, I know Chapek sucked.
Basically,
I'm here to fix
just
everything.
Reassured everyone that things are going to be fine. That the hiring freeze for parks is still happening, and that the rumored Apple acquisition of Disney was pure speculation.
Oh my gosh, that would be mind-blowing.
That would be mind-blowing, and
Wait, there's rumors that Apple was going to buy Disney?
Yeah. That just kind of floated around this weekend.
Would that pass?
No.
I don't think so. They could maybe get away with buying parts of Disney.
Like they could buy Searchlight.
They could buy Searchlight, they could buy Pixar,
That'd be just comes full circle.
Right? It would be a perfect story. Actually, I would be happy with that purchase.
I would too, because Disney shoving Pixar crap down the drain.
Disney doesn't need to own both Disney Animation Studios and Pixar. I think that's hurt competition in the animated space. That's like the only news story I had.
The only story I got is Helen Hunt has not yet been confirmed to reprise the role of Joe.
Dang it, why not?
In Twisters.
Dude, we gotta start a GoFundMe page for her.
Pay the woman. Come on.
Gotta get this. We gotta make this happen.
Has she not earned her payday?
Tyler, did you have any news stories?
Yeah. There was some Spider-Man 4 concept suit designs for John Malkovich's Vulture that came out. I don't know if anybody saw that. Somebody
say what?
Yeah,
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich was gonna play Adrian Toomes.
Spider-Man
4, way back when.
Yes, in history, Spider-Man 4,
yes,
not.
Yes. No.
So what I'm hearing from Tyler is Spider-Man 4 Sam Raimi confirmed.
No.
Right?
Yeah, you heard it here first.
That's what I heard.
The headline is Vulture's Wings canceled Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 revealed for the first time. And they look like a practical version of what you would expect them to look.
Okay.
Like, it was nothing
crazy.
Incredible. No, I didn't think so. Other than that, I guess there is a Grinch Christmas horror movie coming out called The Mean One.
Dude.
You're a mean one. Mr. Grinch. I'll pass.
The Rock is attacking Warner.
Oh. What did he do this time?
Dwayne Johnson calls studios' reluctance to bring back Henry Cavill inexplicable and inexcusable. This goes back to him getting Henry Cavill back.
Well, his movie bombed, so he got to blame somebody, and he won't blame the fans. he made that movie for the fans,
right? No, I guess because of how long it took them to get the approval for Henry Cavill, because they didn't want to bring him back or something like that.
Listen. Here's the thing. I might go off a little bit here. Okay?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Not really. Not really going to go off.
King.
I'm really glad Henry Cavill's going to come back. But how much is coming back? Because we've talked about this, like Amy Adams.
Yeah.
Or bring back Lawrence Fishburne. Who all is coming back? Is this a reboot or is it not? So I don't blame them at all if they just want to be like, listen, we just want to reboot it. Do we want Cavill back? We don't know. Yeah. I understand why it takes so long.
Yeah.
I was on team just freaking reboot it because I'm so tired of them just waiting around and doing nothing. I'm still on that team. Just do it with Cavill back. Total reboot.
This feels like, from The Rock, this feels like just a PR move for himself, as, kind of casting himself as a hero for the people, and the studio execs, they don't know what we want. And like to some degree, the execs often don't know what we want. But at the same time, like Luke was saying, well, if the repercussions of bringing back one person and not just signing them for cameos, but like if he wants a bigger deal, then you have to think about, well, yeah, is Lawrence Fishburne gonna try and negotiate up to a much larger salary? What about Amy Adams? Like, all of that thought goes into it, and that takes a long time. So I'm sorry, The Rock, I don't have. I'm not impressed by your argument.
He might have just been hyped up on Zilla Energy, man. Just finished a hard workout. All juiced up.
I didn't support him tonight.
That's fine.
The other end of this, and I said this like when the Snyder Cut got confirmed, is like I kept saying it's a slippery slope, and we've seen how that's really just turned into a mountain of crap the last few years. I think what's gone wrong with Marvel is they've done too much trying to appease fans. Mm-hmm. They've kind of lost sight of what they were doing as creatives because of their trying to appease fans, and that's why Phase 4 suffered so much. I feel like this could be, again, a slippery slope back into that space where everybody wants Cavill back. Everybody wants Cavill back. I want Cavill back, right? But like, I'm kind of with Luke. Like, if they just need to use Superman. I don't care who plays him at this point. Mm-hmm. But Superman has to be a focal point moving forward. Like, just do a Superman movie. If Cavill's back, great. If he's not, recast him with somebody good.
Yep.
Know what?
Give me David Corrin Sweat.
Know what I'm waiting for? We have a very vocal leader now on social media in James Gunn.
Yeah.
He will respond. He'll talk. He's very open. He's transparent. And I love it. It's awesome to have somebody just like be like, this is fake. Actually, this is true, actually. Yeah, we're doing this. I'm just waiting for him to be like, thank you for your concern, The Rock. We're canceling your sequel.
Dude, that would be awesome. And then James Gunn and Dwayne The Rock Johnson in a cage match to the death on WWE.
Here's the thing, though. He's already friends with the two better WWE actors. No offense, The Rock. Man, I'm coming after The Rock lately.
You really are.
He's going to punch me in my face, and it would kill me.
Batista, James Gunn, and John Cena versus The Rock.
What a fight. What a fight that would be.
I'd pay to watch that in IMAX.
I would. I love it.
Fathom event.
Oh my lord.
I actually just remembered a news story.
Yeah.
That came out today or yesterday, I don't remember. And it's probably a property nobody really cares about. Not even really me. I just care about who's mentioned. Antonio Banderas was talking about the Zorro character. And he said, the first part I like. Mm-hmm. If they redo it, I want to take the role of, oh shoot, what's his name? The mentor role. I don't remember who played him in the old ones.
Him Zorro.
Is
not Zorro?
The guy, Anthony Hopkins. He'd take the Anthony Hopkins role.
Yeah.
Of the mentor. Golly, man. And that he would want Tom Holland to take the Zorro mantle. And I don't think I can express enough how against that I am. That is the stupidest and worst casting I've ever heard.
Is the Zorro franchise owned by Sony? Because that's the only thing I can think of.
I'm Googling it right now.
That someone floated that idea at him and said, this is happening. Say something nice about it. Because how does that choice Where does that choice come from him?
Because he worked on him in Uncharted. He said he enjoyed his time with Tom Holland. Thought he was a good young man.
I'm getting Tom Holland fatigue.
Been there, done that. Join the crowd, buddy. Oh my gosh, we've been there for so long, I feel like. Is Zorro public domain? It's public domain, so Sony can.
Okay.
Who made the previous?
The Legend of Zorro.
Published by...
Looking this up.
Distributed by Sony Pictures.
Called it.
But production is Columbia. Amblin.
Columbia, Sony.
Amblin. It's
Okay.
Spielberg will be like, no, Tom Holland. Spielberg's going to direct the next Zorro movie. Oh my gosh, sorry. I just thought of something that I actually need to bring up after this.
Okay.
And Spyglass Entertainment. But yeah, it's Sony, so
Sony.
It's guaranteed to be Tom Holland. And Zorro will be a dead franchise in the next 5 years.
They've got him signed up for 13,000 movies over the next 5 years.
Sorry. Honestly, I feel like I'm answering a Fanbox question that wasn't even asked for this.
Okay, well, shoot.
Last week, I didn't talk about it, but I rewatched Treasure Planet.
So good.
I was sick, and I was like, I need to watch something that'll make me feel good and that I love. So watch Treasure Planet on Disney+. Please go watch it.
Heck yeah.
Yesterday was the 20th anniversary of the release of Treasure Planet. And I thought of the perfect director I think of. And I don't even need it to be Treasure Planet. I'd even accept it just being Treasure Island. The same story. I'll take it. But I feel like Steven Spielberg would be perfect.
I like it. No, I like it.
Even more so for Treasure Island.
Yeah.
I was watching the movie and I was like, I wonder if Spielberg would direct something like this. And I'm like, I think it'd be more likely if he did Island. And I was just so sold into the idea that popped into my head. I mean, the guy can make anything. Mm-hmm. He's made a movie in every genre. And they're all, like, he's made a good movie in every genre. Even, I know you aren't a fan of it, but he made Ready Player One. That's a movie about video games. So would he be turned away from some... They're playing a video game. They're literally playing a video game for money. They're playing a VR headset video game. Stop doing that, you punk. I love Ready Player One, man.
Me too. I'm here with you.
But, like, he was interested in doing that. So, like, would he... I don't think he'd turn away a Treasure Planet.
Oh, probably not.
And I don't think I'll ever be able to get that idea out of my head.
It's not a bad idea to have.
It's not a bad idea.
He puts butts in seats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it depends on... Man, I think Treasure Planet... I don't know, does he just have one, like... He doesn't just have one cinematographer that he works with.
I don't think so.
I think it had to be the right cinematographer. Make that for me to really
Roger Deakins.
Oh, good Lord. Luke likes to make us PR audio.
Roger Deakins.
That's the best you've sounded all night.
Thank you.
What happens when you get close to the mic? Okay. Any other news stories?
No. And nothing Luke speculating right now.
Well, we have a couple Fanbox questions, a few from Twitter last week, and at least one from our Instagram. I should check that again. But the first question is from Dan, the teacher man.
Oh.
Tyler, and it's directed at Tyler. Do you think DMZ is the future of COD games going forward?
In like, I guess in like what regard? Like, I think it's like their premier mode. Probably not. I think Warzone's too big now. But here's what I will say. I think outside of traditional multiplayer, it's their best mode. including campaign, spec ops, and Warzone. I think it's the best mode. I think it's the most fun to play. Really cool to drop in. It's basically the Dark Zone from the Division in Call of Duty, and like the Dark Zone in the Division 1 is incredible. So, I mean, I don't know that it'll be the future, but I do think it will be something that they continue to iterate on over time, and it could become their premier mode.
All right. I like it. I don't know anything about it, but I like it.
It's Escape from Tarkov, but it's Call of Duty.
Okay. Cool. Our next question is from T. Landrith Perk on Twitter. Trevor. He asks if we have any early picks for Best Picture winner at the Academy Awards this year. From what I've seen, I don't know. From what I've seen, hold on, I'm pulling it up here. I think the favorite right now, it hasn't been released yet, but it's done really well at festivals, is The Whale. I think that's a favorite. It's an Aronofsky film. You've got a, really well-known director there. You've got a great performance out of a aging, maybe kind of an actor who hasn't done as much of late. You get a really good performance out of them. And with all the buzz, I think that's probably would be my pick, having not seen it. Now, maybe that changes as soon as I see it, but
my guess that I've also not seen it is Tar. I think Tar's got a real shot.
I think one that's going to get a nom, or they're going to try and get it nominated. I don't think it'll win, but I think they'll try and get it nominated, is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That's what I was going to say.
I think that's the one that A24 throws a lot of weight behind.
That and The Whale.
Well, yeah, The Whale also. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they push 2.
I think two that I'm really hoping for, mainly because they're international. One is RRR. I don't know if it can win, but I think it could get nominated, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
And the other one, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah. Both of those, if they don't get, I think they'll definitely be in the running for Best Foreign.
Yeah.
If not Best Picture. I think those are both in my booyah category for this year. So
yep.
I agree that they've got that quality.
And then, of course, I mean, it's Morbin time. Morbius.
Of course.
Morbin time.
Of course. With Best Supporting Actor. What's his name?
Listen.
Matt Smith, the other Doctor Who. The new old Doctor Who.
I forgot about him, but the girl in Morbius, absolutely forgettable. But she's in Andor, and she's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what it usually comes down to? Writing. Oh.
They just show up and film those Sony movies.
Next on the docket, Zorro starring Tom Holland.
It is just a check. A take, I say lines, and I go.
And then they re-release it.
Yeah.
Because of memes.
All right, and then Game Lord Master asks, who is your prediction for who's going to win the World Cup?
I mean, USA, obviously, right?
USA.
Mine's the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be Messi's year.
You think so? Argentina.
Are they underdogs? I don't know. I was watching them.
I think they're.
You're never an underdog with Messi.
Yeah, that's true.
I was watching them last night, and I was very entertained. I watched Messi score a goal, and I was like, "This is a man who's willing to do anything to win. This is his time." It's time.
Yeah, I'm man, I don't know. You know the
I know nothing about soccer.
The teams,
Or
yeah,
football. I'm sorry.
It's hard for me to make a proper guess here, but Netherlands has been playing really well. Obviously, England's really good this year.
All they did was tie the U.S., so they're obviously trash.
They're horrible. They're horrible. Man, you can't ever
couldn't even score one goal against this measly United States of America.
Can never count out Brazil though either. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Tyler, Netherlands.
I played soccer for 2 years. I barely understand the rules. So
I played FIFA 23 this weekend.
How is it?
Did you win?
Yeah, I guess that was one of my. Here's my Fanbox question: did you guys have any Black Friday or Cyber Monday purchases?
I'll go first. No.
I will go second. Not specifically. We bought a new dishwasher.
Nice.
It was not on sale. The purchase happened to coincide because
the old one died.
The paycheck with the extra PTO cash out was given to me on Wednesday, so
nice.
Just happened to be when it was when it happened.
Well, I bought X.
Mm-hmm.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Nice.
And FIFA 23. And I now understand why people complain about Madden's franchise mode. FIFA 23's career mode, equivalent to franchise mode, is phenomenal.
Nice.
It's a really fun game.
Cool.
And I don't like soccer at all.
Oh, don't let your wife hear that.
No, she knows. I tell her often.
All the time.
Honey, your sport sucks.
Whew. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. Thank you all for listening, for watching, for chatting along in the stream live. Again, we record these things live Monday nights, 8 p.m. Central Time. Well, love for you to pop in and be a part of the show. But, you know, whether you watch us on YouTube or listen to us via the podcast, we appreciate you guys. Yeah. And if you have Fanbox questions, let us know. We love doing these little Fanbox questions at the end. So,
otherwise, me and Tyler are just going to think of random stuff to spout out. Like, Steven Spielberg should direct Treasure Island or Treasure Planet.
Hey, that's a good topic. I like that one.
Please, Steven.
All right. Until next week, we'll see ya.
Goodbye.
I guess you can.